Father James Burns, President, members of the clergy and religious, faculty, program directors, staff, administrators, spouses, partners, children, friends, and members of this graduating class. Good afternoon and welcome to the Twin Cities campus of St. Mary's University of Minnesota for this commencement convocation. Please be seated. I am Brother Robert Smith, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Chief Academic Officer of the university and as the Vice President for our Schools of Graduate and Professional Programs, and I will serve as our Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. At this commencement convocation, we will be conferring master's and doctoral degrees in the Graduate School of Education and in the Graduate School of Health and Human Services. In the commencement ceremony held this morning, we presented candidates for bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees in the Graduate School of Health and Human Services. And in a ceremony later this afternoon, we will present candidates for bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees in our Graduate School of Business and Technology. We have commencement convocations 6 times each year. In addition to today's 3 ceremonies, we have commencement ceremonies in January and June here on our Twin Cities campus. On our Winona campus, we have commencement ceremonies in May. At our Nairobi, Kenya campus, we have commencement in April. And at our Mandeville, Jamaica campus, we have commencement each September. Those of you graduating today are part of a large and growing St. Mary's University of Minnesota global family. This is in part reflected by the international flags here in the front of the auditorium. They represent the nations of some of our students who have left their homelands in order to study with us. Today is a joyous day. All of us celebrate a chapter in your life's journey, those of you who are graduating, a chapter that has not only challenged you intellectually, but in every other way as well. Our university's holistic approach to higher education has provided you with the opportunity to develop the many talents that I know you will share with others on your personal and professional journey as graduates of St. Mary's University of Minnesota. We have all looked forward to this day. Your family and friends, as well as the faculty, administration, and staff of the university, rejoice with you in your singular and great achievement. At this time, I invite all candidates for graduation, as well as members of the audience who are in active military service, members of the Reserves or National Guard, or veterans, to please stand as you are able so that we may recognize you for your service to our nation. I invite all who are able to please stand. Ms. Elise Rivnes of our team here at the SGPP will sing America the Beautiful. Please stand as you are able. Elise.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited
Thank you very much, Elise and Becky Warnock, for the accompaniment. I ask you to remain standing while Father James C. Nodebart, our campus chaplain, offers our invocation. Father Nodebart.
Let us remember we are in the holy presence of God. O God, you are compassionate and merciful. It was you who formed us in your own image and gave us the whole world in all its splendor. It was you who filled our minds with knowledge of your truth. It was you who gave us wisdom to discern your ways. And so, God, we stand before you to acknowledge that your faithfulness has been woven into our joys and challenges of education. Today, we remember with gratitude those who gave shape to our present understandings, our families, those whom we love. We remember with gratitude our instructors who opened the pathways of knowledge, the students who shared their burdens and joys of learning, the staff who helped us navigate the systems. Filled with these memories, we come to an end of this portion of our lives, grateful, humbled, and at peace. We thank you, God, today and all days until the end of time itself. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father Nodebart. Please be seated. I want to take a moment to recognize members of the President's Cabinet who are with us today. I ask them to please stand as I introduce them. Dr. Timothy Gosson, Vice President for Mission and Student Life. Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations, Ms. Audrey Kinsey. Executive Vice President and General Counsel, Ms. Ann Merklowitz, J.D., and Mr. Ben Murray, Vice President for Financial Affairs. Thank you for being with us today. Dr. Sarah Ferguson, Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs and Academic Dean, will be assisting the President in giving out the diplomas. I also want to take a moment to recognize our faculty, academic staff, program directors, and coordinators, many of whom are sitting here in front of me and in front of you, the graduates, for your commitment, your professionalism, and your dedication to our shared LaSallian education mission here in the Twin Cities campus. We are grateful. Ms. Marcy Heerman, a member of our alumni board, will offer a word of welcome to the Alumni Association. Ms. Heerman.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and congratulations to you, the newest graduates of St. Mary's University of Minnesota. I would like to be the first to welcome you to the newest members of the St. Mary's University Alumni Association. Today, you join a network of more than 43,000 alumni from our undergraduate, graduate, and professional programs. In your professional and personal lives, you may be amazed at how often you will cross paths with another St. Mary's alum. And you'll undoubtedly find that St. Mary's alumni share connections that span generations, programs, and degrees, and even continents. So welcome to this very valuable network. The purpose of the St. Mary's Alumni Association is to grow and strengthen these connections through social, professional, networking, and educational events. And the thread that brings all of us together is our university and all the people who make this university very, very special. We hope that you will continue to stay connected with St. Mary's. Please know that you are always welcome. We encourage you to continue the personal and professional friendships that you've made here with your classmates, faculty, and staff. We're really very proud of everything you have accomplished and everything you will accomplish. Please continue to let us know of these successes so that we can celebrate with you. And please consider sharing your time and talents with our St. Mary's students. Information regarding the future Alumni Association events and other university events can be found online and on the Alumni Association website and the Alumni Association Facebook and LinkedIn pages. St. Mary's has been your university, and now it is your alma mater, and there will always be a place for you here. St. Mary's stands for all as a sign of faith, a beacon of hope, and a place of knowledge in the service of love. This can happen because of the excellent faculty, staff, alumni, and students that make up our university community. So your fellow 43,000 alumni and I wish each of you the best as you go forward. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Marcy. I notice that almost all of you have on the St. Mary's alumni pin. Way to go. At this time, we want to honor two of our graduating students with the Outstanding Graduate Final Paper Award. As part of the conclusion of their degree program, students are required to complete a capstone project. The final paper is the culmination of the capstone. And in the case of doctoral students, the culmination is the dissertation. The faculty members of each program, in consultation with the program director, recommend candidates for this award. The deans then select those to be honored with the Outstanding Final Paper or Outstanding Dissertation Award. I am happy this afternoon to announce our award recipients, and I ask them to please come forward to be recognized. Ms. Karen Marie Johnson, candidate for the Master of Education in Learning Design and Technology, and Mr. Boom Yi Yang, candidate for the Master of Arts in English as a Second Language. They will each receive a plaque presented by the president of the university after I read the title of their paper. Ms. Johnson. The citation on the plaque reads as follows: St. Mary's University of Minnesota proudly presents this honor in recognition of your contribution to excellence in scholarship on this day, October 13th, 2018, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Father James P. Burns, IVD, PhD, President. The title of her paper is, How Might I Reimagine the Structure of Teaching Math in Order for All of My Students to Reach Their Full Potential? Congratulations, Ms. Johnson. Mr. Vang. The citation on the plaque reads as follows: St. Mary's University of Minnesota proudly presents this honor in recognition of your contribution to excellence in scholarship on this day, October 13th, 2018, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Father James P. Burns, IVD, PhD, President. Mr. Yang's title of his paper is Exploring the Impact of Polarized Racial Discourses on Asian American ELL Students. Congratulations, Mr. Yang. As adult learners who have returned to further your education, your accomplishments, it seems to me, take on even greater significance when we consider the many responsibilities each of you has managed in order to complete your education. The time away from family and friends and loved ones, although challenging, I trust will prove its worth in the days and the years and the decades ahead. At this time, one of today's candidates for graduation will briefly share his reflections with us. I invite Mr. Andrew Gao Xiong, a candidate for the Doctor of Education and Leadership, to please come forward to share his thoughts with us. Mr. Xiong.
nhà rong ta shu cho sẽ đây của cháu cho bé sẽ đây bé cho sư hữu thế cho chơi cái đó nó là tao muốn lúc cha nào đó cũng là và tụi chơi lúc thế sợ chơi đó bé cho mình nhiều tụi sai cái đó họ lúc chơi cái đó nó nói vậy nó chưa sáng chấp lại đâu cũng chơi nên cụ thể cũng chơi nên bé kia chơi kia tua kia cho kia cho phong xe cho bé tôi tới cho nó gặp bé tao cần đào bé cho kém bao số giờ trở lại nông nó bé xã gặp bé trở nên mỗi thứ mua cho cái cần đào cái xe rong lên lúa thế cụ trở nên nông nó quay đồ này sẽ được bé mỗi thứ là thế. Let me translate that for you. There is a purpose. It is a great honor for me to speak on behalf of my fellow graduates and St. Mary's University. It has been a long journey for me to get to where I am today. Overcoming odds of achieving such pinnacle is a feat unimaginable to many of my people and family, especially when it's not even in our native language. Do it in Hmong is okay, but doing it in English is extraordinarily hard. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my reflection. While I was speaking in Hmong, I sensed that some of you were fearful of not knowing what message I was conveying. Some of you may have questioned my positive intention, and some of you even wondered what the purpose was for my speech introduction. I thought about how I could describe what I and many of you went through in our program's journey, and decided that I would just show you instead by giving you that little exercise. That's what it was like during my first class at St. Mary's. I came from a family that lacked educational experience, and I was the first to graduate from a four-year college, the first to complete a master's degree, and now the first to complete a doctoral program. At each step, I had fear of the unknown. I questioned the positive intentions of my instructors, and I wavered in my belief that I had the capacity and purpose to complete what I started. And I know many of you felt the same way in the classes that we took, the discussions that we had with one another, and in the many wonderings we had when we were unsure of ourselves throughout the program. When looking for a doctoral program 6 years ago, I knew of my fear. I was cautious about trusting an institution with positive intentions. I wanted an institution that had a family-like environment, a place where I could find people who would help me develop the skills for which I felt I might not have yet had the capacity. I found St. Mary's University. And I found you. I'm so glad that I also found many of my peers going through the same kind of wonderings and the same kind of questionings and the same kind of challenges. And we all came from different parts of the world. That was the most amazing thing I found out about St. Mary's. I transformed from a boy climbing to the top of the tallest tree in a small village back in Laos, wondering what all those glittery things in the sky were, to now being able to answer my own wonderings through my own research and explorative expertise as a doctoral graduate, through overcoming my fears, distrust, and reaffirming my belief in my own capacity, as many of you also did with me. I hope to contribute and advance others and impact my community when I return back to them. A St. Mary's faculty member once told me, I'm not naming who, I'm looking at him. He said, just finish the program. You can change the world when you're done with your degree. I understand now what that means. So doctors, graduates, let's go make this world a little better place for all of us to live in. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic, really, congratulations. Those were wonderful remarks, really. Thank you very much for those really inspiring remarks. It is now my distinct honor and personal privilege to introduce to you the president of St. Mary's University of Minnesota, Father James Burns, IVD, PhD, who will now offer us his remarks. Father Burns.
Thank you, brother. Dear graduates and friends all, I want to offer, along with the others who have spoken before me, a welcome to these commencement ceremonies of St. Mary's University. And at this time, I would like to thank all those who had a hand in preparing you for this day as graduates, as well as those who prepared most immediately for this very event today. There are many hands that have had to be put to the plow, as it were, in order to get us to this point. So we're very grateful for all the preparations that went into making this day the special day it is. We're also delighted to see so many of you here, and in a very special way to have so many of our faculty with us. And on the platform, I'm so delighted to be joined by many of the distinguished members of our community and the professors who are here to help usher our students into the next stage of their lives as graduates. This is a day which I'm sure you are all very proud of, and you should be. So on behalf of the Cabinet, our Board of Trustees, our Council of Regents, the deans, faculty, and staff at St. Mary's University, I offer you all our heartiest congratulations on this graduation day, and I welcome you now as St. Mary's graduates. Regardless of how you arrived at this day, today you are graduating with many possibilities before you. Yet the greatest possibility I would submit is summed up in the Latin motto of the Brothers of the Christian Schools who founded this university, Signum Fidei, a sign of faith. You each, as graduates, are a sign of faith and hope to a world that is in desperate need of witnesses to the greater good and to truth. Truly, the greatest possibility we have exists when focused on serving the greater glory of our Creator, as well as in service to the good of all humanity. To fully appreciate this call to be of service, it takes time, patience, and perseverance. If we truly pause to think about this, we should find ourselves very humbled. Indeed, each of you has learned and now can teach us all a lesson in perseverance and humility. It is the endurance and patience of the person who has kept on trying and in doing so forging a new path for him or herself despite obstacles. It is the humility of the person who thinks not what the world owes him or her, but rather asks, what greater good can be accomplished through the achievement of my education? It is the sense of hospitality that speaks of respect for self and others and is acted upon in a way that shows what can be truly accomplished by care and concern for the other through hard work and commitment devoted to seeking the truth in all things. That reminds me, as I was preparing for this talk, of a small story about one of the greatest men of our country. There was a time when a man on horseback came across a few soldiers who were trying to move a very heavy log of wood, and they didn't have much success. And their corporal was standing by just watching as his men struggled to move this piece of wood. In stunned amazement, the rider remained there for a few moments in disbelief. He finally asked the corporal why he wasn't helping. And the corporal replied, "I'm a corporal. I give the orders." The rider said nothing in response. Instead, he dismounted his horse, he went over, and standing with those soldiers, he helped them as they tried to lift that great log. With his help, the task was finally able to be carried out. And as he prepared to leave the group, they wondered, who was this kind and helpful rider? Well, the rider was none other than George Washington, the commander-in-chief, who then proceeded to quietly dismount his horse and walk over to the corporal and said, "The next time your men need help, just send for the commander-in-chief. He's not beneath any work." The example of Washington stands as a reminder to each of us what can be accomplished when we work together and no one assumes what they do or what others do is beneath their own dignity. When no one thinks that it's someone else's job. You may find yourself in any number of situations in which it doesn't seem like what you're doing matters or that you should even have to do it. However, I would say if you do all that you do with quiet dignity, humility, and self-respect, you will have more on your side than any position, any supervisor, or any money can account for. For you will have your dignity and your self-respect, and you will have shown yourself to be truly worth the amazing St. Mary's education you have received. You will be, I would say, on the side of the angels. When you offer yourself in this way, you continue to show that you are a person who can successfully adapt and adjust to all sorts of environments. In fact, your graduate degrees, which many of you had to complete bit by bit, part-time, due to the many other demands on your time and attention, demonstrate a deliberate, patient, determined, and dedicated focus on your goals and show the utilization of your life skills, not the least of which are humility and self-respect. Many of you had to put a variety of things on hold in order to manage school, work, and family. This is something no one could teach you how to do. You had to live it, you had to learn it for yourself, and you did. You may have asked yourself at various times during your studies, is this really the right move? Is it really worth all of this? But because you persevered, you alone can affirmatively answer those questions and say, yes, this was the right move. Yes, it is worth all the effort. One of the other exceptional things about the St. Mary's student, whether you are someone returning to school after many years away, a single parent, a business professional, a groundskeeper, a food service or catering personnel person, newly immigrated to this country, first-generation graduate student, or any of the other categories our students fall into, is that despite all the pressures and strains of your life, you found out more clearly than ever you were not alone. Whether you needed the assistance and support of your classmates, the faculty and student services and advising here at St. Mary's, you realized that these individuals were readily available to help you, and they truly cared and care about you. Perhaps even more than anyone else, you experienced firsthand what it is like to be the recipient of care and concern from spouses and partners, parents, brothers and sisters, friends, and even children. As they were there for you, now you are asked, as someone called to serve together and by association, to take all that good that has been offered to you and pass it on by giving your degree to the world in service to the good, to make the world better. and to make it all that only you as a unique individual can make it. Because many were part of getting you to this day, I would like to ask that all of our graduates please rise. Please rise. I'd ask you to turn around and face the people who came here for you, and to thank them by a round of applause yourselves to them for all they've done for you. You may be seated. And in addition to acknowledging these supportive and very thoughtful individuals in your lives who make up your family and friends, on behalf of the entire St. Mary's University community, I would also recognize in a special way all of our faculty and staff who help us get to this day. Thank you. Today, each of you presents him or herself for a degree. Having now achieved a milestone, you completed a significant goal for which you can be rightfully proud. Your degree bears witness to this. Seeing our graduates and celebrating them as we do today, we are more convinced than ever that the mission of St. Mary's University is being achieved, and so we remain constant in pursuing the goal while seeking ever to grow in the spirit of De La Salle, to provide learners with the total collegiate and graduate experience so they can come to know for themselves through the pursuit of knowledge with an appreciation for a variety of cultural interests, and by becoming well-informed citizens of the world, what a deep sense of obligation they now have to serve the local and global community, and thus truly become men and women who together and by association change the world for the good. This is indeed a joyous occasion for our graduates, and all of us take great pride in your success. On my part, I pray that God's blessing may shine upon the sacrifices you have all shared in, giving you renewed courage and faith to accept the challenge of the many opportunities that now lie ahead of you. My hope is that you keep in touch with us in the years to come as lifelong learners. May God bless you, and may your accomplishments here at St. Mary's be but the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your inspiring words, Father Burns. I need to go off script for about 30 seconds. In Father Burns' remarks, he alluded to George Washington as our first nation's commander-in-chief. Father Burns is our 14th commander-in-chief in 106 years. Many of you know this, some of you might not know. He's a new president, been with us just 3.5 months. That means this is his first St. Mary's graduation. So those of you who are going to be graduates in the next hour have something very special and particular to share with our new president, Father Burns. We are happy to have you as our commander-in-chief. And now, we have arrived at the moment each of you, soon-to-be graduates, has been anticipating since you began your studies with us, the conferral of your degree. The awarding process will unfold in the following manner. Degree candidates will be invited by row to stand. You will be asked to move forward to the hooding area to be hooded by the director of your degree program. When your name is called, please proceed to the stage to receive your diploma from the president. We have arranged for a professional photographer to photograph the graduates as they receive their diploma. Therefore, we ask friends and families to refrain from coming forward to take photographs so as to prevent congestion and obstructing the view of the audience. There will be ample opportunity to take photos at the reception immediately following this ceremony, which will take place in the room above us. We sincerely thank you for your consideration and cooperation. Candidates for graduation will be called forward by Dr. Lynn Albee, the Assistant Dean of the Graduate School of Education, and Dr. Todd Reinhardt, the Dean of Sciences and Health Professions. Dr. Albee.
Candidates for the Master of Arts in Education: Sarah Michelle Anderson, Rachel Elise Backer, David Edward Boyganzon, Bernadette Catherine Bruzik, Leah Claire Christensen, Jennifer Huff Engelken, Shannon Clancy Moran Hager, Janelle Lynn Hill, Angela Johnson, Courtney Page Johnson, Katie Ann Joy, Toby Lynn Keeman, Carly Rose Larson, Christopher Wayne Laney, Scott Randall Pa, Linda Robeck, Misty Elaine Roberts, Jacob Blair Rossholt, Samantha Jo Ross, Jennifer Elizabeth Rydberg, Samantha Marlene Samuelson, Kinsey Ellen Stifter, Ashley Elizabeth Tenson, Kayla Nicole Thor, Jeffrey Dallas Tweet, Bethany Leanne Wager, Christina Beata Wollner. Candidates for the Master of Arts in Education, Wisconsin: Gabrielle Marcine Goes, Alexis Denise Hanel, Mercy Hernandez, Lisa Ann Scoyen, Tony Marie Swenson, Candidates for the Master of Arts in Educational Leadership: Lynn Julia Villasvik Backer, Koss Thomas Barnett, Cullen G. Berg, Emma Christine Cole, Lauren Danielle Freiberg, Connor J. Getz, Normalyn May Haley, Alicia Charlotte Kirkman, Kelly Joy Michael, Alicia Lynn Opelt Musselman, Janelle Marie Peterson. Claw M.B. Wilson II. Candidates for the Master of Arts in English as a Second Language. Elizabeth Ann Burkaw. Brianna Ray Dietz. Sufi Amin Mohammed. Kia Mua. Julie Renee Overson. Rachel Herman Rosenblum. Lauren Elizabeth Smith Sandman. Chrisana Tripodi. Boonmi Yang. Carlene Renee Younts. Candidates for the Master of Arts in Instruction. Marta Eugenia Fuster Fernandez. Mark Hayek. Hillary Francis Kirsch. Carmen Lopez Marshall. Amanda Jean Menson. Candidates for the Master of Arts in Special Education. Melanie Brisk. Jillian Marie Fagerness. Tyler L. Frost. Jennifer Mary Hagan. Cassandra J. Johnson. Carly June Maley. Sarah R. Trenery. Candidates for the Master of Arts in Teaching. Catherine Kendall Benson. Patricia Marie Emerson. Ryan Dickinson Longley. Candidates for the Master of Education in Learning, Design, and Technology. Erin Marie Alexander. Brittany Michelle Baunerschmidt. Jessica Ann Bester. Karen Marie Johnson. Nicole Ann McElwain Lehman. Ellen Grace Minzel. Samantha Pappenfuss Craig. Allison Rapp. Tuesday Lynn Trewicki.
The candidates for the Master of Science in Nurse Anesthesia are as follows. Jamie Ray Apter. Lindsay K. Bruns. Christina Marie Campbell. Cassandra K. Clark. Cody Theodore Crawford. Samuel Patrick Funilian. Paige Mary Foster. Constance Christine Grant. Brooke Allison Harris. Hillary June Harrison. Anne Catherine Hennis. Matthew David Haft. Hans Kiyoshi Hoogs. Tara Lynn Koletka. Anne Louise Lapasinski. Alexa Ann Meyerhoff. Jessica Lynn McAdam. Amanda Joan Peterson. Elise Nicole Ritter. Robert Joseph Simon. Lindsay Marie Sahovich. Callie Jo Tapool. Katrina Lynn Williams.
Candidates for the Doctorate in Educational Leadership. Daniel Kiplanget Ruta. His dissertation is entitled Exploring the Barriers to Higher Education Among Kenyan Students, a Grounded Theory Study. His chair is Dr. Nelson Updaw. He is being hooded by his program director, Dr. Jack McClure. Congratulations, Dr. Ruta. Jason Sparts. His dissertation is entitled, A Descriptive Study of Instructional Technology Leadership Attributes at Private, Not-for-Profit Colleges and Universities in the Midwest. He is being hooded by his chair, Dr. Paul Kotz. Congratulations, Dr. Sparts. Andy Zhang. His dissertation is entitled, How Cultural Familiarity of School Climate, Transaction, Obligation, and Social Values Strengthen Hmong Parent Involvement in Twin Cities Schools. He is being hooded by his chair, Dr. Yvette Pai. Congratulations, Dr. Zhang.
Thanks to Doctors Albee and Reinhardt, to our program directors and program coordinators, and to the members of the Student Central staff who helped in this process. I ask that the candidates for graduation please stand. President Burns, upon the recommendation of the faculty, deans, program directors, and administration of the Schools of Graduate and Professional Programs, and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I present to you for your approval candidates for master's and doctoral degrees on this day, October 13th, 2018, the 229th year since the founding of the Republic and the 106th year since the founding of St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Do you accept? Congratulations to one and all. I ask all who are able to please stand as Father James Nodebart offers our benediction. Father Nodebart.
Congratulations. God, our Creator, it is time now to take leave of this assembly. We form our final thoughts at this commencement as we part our fellow students, instructors, and those who helped us on the way. We know that the joy of this moment is marked also with the challenges lying before us tomorrow. So we look to the future, equipped with the tools of wisdom and understanding, with charity and justice, with a concern for equality and a peaceable kingdom. These things have been instilled into our hearts, and we know, God, that you are our hope. Only there will the efforts of our humanity find true expression. Help us, God, to be of service in building the new world where justice may flourish in the hearts of all. Let this day that marks our graduation stand before all as a witness to what you have done. Blessed are you, God, of all nations and peoples. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Father Notebart. Please remain standing. At this time, members of the staff of the Schools of Graduate and Professional Programs will lead us in the singing of the St. Mary's University Alma Mater. They will sing the first verse, and I invite you to join us all and them on the second and third verses. You can find the Alma Mater on the last page of the program.
Hail St. Mary's alma mater, hail St. Mary's mother true. Every faithful son and daughter lifts this anthem now to you. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Hail St. Mary, fount of wisdom, nurturer of heart and mind. Strengthen us in thought and spirit, that in seeking we may find. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Hail St. Mary, shining beacon of LaSalle's community. Send us out forever, teaching love and faith and unity. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria.
You can do better than that. Thank you very much. Cheryl, Michelle, Daniela, Caitlin, Christy, and Becky. In addition, I want to thank Victory Park Brass for their contributions to our ceremony this afternoon. Thanks for being with us again. And I also want to thank the 30 or 40 St. Mary's University employees who have worked significantly and hard, laboriously over the last week or 10 days to make this go without a flaw. They are all over this building. Please join me in thanking them. I ask our recent graduates and the faculty to remain standing, and I invite our guests to be seated. I promise it's the last time you'll hear that from me. On behalf of the faculty, administration, staff, trustees, and regents of the university, I congratulate each and all of our graduates. We wish you good health and much success and happiness in your life and in your work. To facilitate our exit, I ask our guests to remain seated until the stage party, the faculty, and our graduates have left the auditorium. There will be an opportunity to informally greet the graduates at a reception on the second floor of this building. I ask our guests to please exit to the right through those doors. There are elevators and stairs to the right. This concludes our commencement ceremony. Again, congratulations and best wishes from all of us to all of you, graduates, families, and friends of St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Good afternoon.